So something else that happened this week, guys. If you're fans of the CW Arrowverse, Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, Black Lightning, doing amazing things over at the CW. Well, this was the annual CW crossover.
Yep.
Every Christmas, all the shows, they cross over and they do one big crossover event. Last year it was Crisis on Earth X, which was amazing.
I know. It's so fun to watch these characters. Because I personally only watched The Flash, but watching these crossovers, like, the actors are amazing, the characters are fun. It's like, it always makes me want to watch Arrow and watch Supergirl, but I feel like I'm so far behind already, it'd be a long time to catch up.
I know, this gets you excited about watching shows like Arrow. And even in this season, well, the one that happened this year was called Elseworlds. Essentially what happens in Elseworlds, you have the character Monitor shows up to Earth. He's got this magical book. He gives the book to this mad scientist guy who basically uses the book to rewrite reality. He uses this book. What he does when he kind of rewrites reality, he does a little Freaky Friday, Quantum Leap kind of a thing where he switches the personalities of the Flash and Arrow, which is kind of cool. You see Oliver Queen as Flash, you see Barry Allen as Arrow, and that was all in the first episode. That was really, really cool. Basically what the Monitor says is he's here to kind of test superheroes because there's a big threat coming, what he calls a crisis. He said there's somebody coming. Obviously this is foreshadowing to one of the more popular comic book series in the DC universe, Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Oh my gosh!
If you're unfamiliar with Crisis on Infinite Earths, the comic book dropped in the 80s. It was DC's attempt. At the time, DC had a million different universes going. There's a whole multiverse thing going. Everything was kind of a cluster F. And so in order to try to bring this all together, they did Crisis on Infinite Earths, which just kind of reset everything. It brought the death of Supergirl was in there. The death of the Flash was in this comic book series. Basically, Anti-Monitor was the crisis that's coming. Anti-Monitor is here to basically destroy all reality. Monitor shows up early to collect the greatest heroes in the multiverse to make a team that can fight Anti-Monitor.
Such a cool premise.
I know, and that's what you see at the end of this. They tease it at the very end that this Elseworlds thing was just kind of a teaser for next year's Christmas crossover, which is going to be Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Oh, I can't wait!
How cool is that?
It's very cool.
Do you think they're going to kill off Supergirl? Do you think they're going to kill off the Flash? Or do you think they're going to take this opportunity to kill off Oliver Queen?
Interesting. I don't think they're going to kill anybody off.
I think Oliver Queen might be in trouble.
Really?
If you rewatched the last episode, he makes a deal with Monitor. He tells him something and they cut away. They cut a deal. You don't know what the deal was, but then at the end of the very last episode, you have Oliver Queen and Barry Allen sitting in a bar, and Oliver is very just kind of distraught. I forget what exactly he says, but he says something to the effect of "Hold on to what you love, because you never know when it's going to be gone." Wow! I think Oliver is setting up for his final demise. And if you watch Arrow right now, he's training a different girl, the girl in the show, to be. She's the new Green Arrow.
Interesting.
Because he went off to jail, so she has been Green Arrow for a while. It just seems like Oliver's about to go. That show was the first one to drop in the Arrowverse. That's why they call it the Arrowverse. So maybe it's time for that show to go out on a bang, go out on a high note.
So you think that next year's Crisis on Infinite Earths is going to be the demise of Arrow?
Yeah, I think that might be the death of Oliver Queen, if not the death of the entire show. Because somebody has to die. I mean, in the comic books...
That's a good point.
In the comic books, Supergirl dies and Flash dies.
Everybody dies in comic books.
Supergirl in the Flash.
That's true.
No way.
But don't worry, they always bring people back at some point in time. How many times has Wolverine died?
Plenty.
Also, what we saw in this crossover was our first introduction to Batwoman.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to even mention that.
Pretty cool. I mean, we got Ruby Rose playing Batwoman.
What'd you think of Ruby Rose's Batwoman?
I like her. I like her as an actress. I think it's going to be really cool. The only thing that threw me off is the hair on the Batsuit.
Yeah.
Why can't it just be a woman? Like Catwoman didn't have hair in her outfit. I
thought that was kind of funny too.
Hair. It's funny because Ruby Rose has a really short haircut, and then she puts on her Batsuit, and it's got this long flowing red hair. It's like, what's the point of that?
It's called a disguise, Shauna.
Yeah, I know.
I thought that was kind of interesting too. I did like Batwoman. I thought the character was maybe a little bit stiff.
Yeah.
But it was just a small part she had in episode 2.
Yep.
So check out Elseworlds, guys, if you haven't watched it. If you've never watched a single show from any of the Arrowverse shows, check out one of these crossovers. They're a great way to get into it.
And it's a completely different story than what's going on the shows themselves. So you can just watch the first episode and watch all three, and you don't have to have watched anything else. So it's really cool.
Exactly, guys. Check out Elseworlds. Streaming now, I think, on CW.com.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap up the show with our Into the Spider-Verse review.